This is the 3M Dynatel 2573ID Advanced Cable, Pipe, and Fault Locator. It is rugged, water-resistant, lightweight, well-balanced, dependable, and easy to operate. This chapter will cover the basic operation of the 2573ID Cable, Pipe, and Fault Locator. We will include information about the transmitter and the receiver. To familiarize you with the operation of the transmitter, let's look at the functions of each key on the transmitter keypad. To check the battery level of the transmitter, press and hold the off key. The battery level will be displayed. OK and a solid tone indicates a fully functional battery. If low appears on the display, and there is an audible beeping tone, this indicates that the batteries need to be replaced. When two dashes appear, or there is nothing on the display during the battery check, the batteries are fully discharged and need to be replaced. The second key of the transmitter is labeled with icons representing three different functions of the transmitter. The first icon is the omega sign, which represents an ohmmeter. When the second key is pressed once, the transmitter will go into Ohms mode. Ohms mode is indicated on the display by a flag over the ohms icon. The transmitter will operate as an ohmmeter that will measure resistance between the red and black leads of the direct connect cable. The second icon on this key is the fault locating icon. If the second key is pressed again, the transmitter will go into fault locating mode. When in fault mode, there will be a flag below the fault icon in the display area, and the frequencies 577 and 33K will flash alternately on the display. The third icon on the second key of the transmitter is the tone icon. When in tone mode, a flag will appear below the tone icon. The transmitter will produce 577 Hz and 200 kHz simultaneously. These locating frequencies will alternately flash on the display. The third key on the transmitter is the trace key. This key is labeled with a locating icon. When in cable locate mode, a flag will appear below the cable locate icon in the upper section of the display. The trace key, when pressed repeatedly, will cycle through all available transmitter frequencies: 577 Hz, 1 kHz, 8 kHz, 33 kHz, 82 kHz, and 200 kHz. When all is displayed, each of the following active frequencies are transmitting simultaneously: 577 Hz, 8 kHz, 33 kHz, and 200 kHz. The output key of the transmitter will adjust the output power of the unit between normal output, 1/2 watt, to high output, which is 3 watts. Normal output is the default output power each time the unit is turned on. Normal output is indicated by no flag over the output icon. When the output key is pressed, the output power is set to high output, or 3 watts. This is indicated in the display by a flag above the output icon. If your transmitter has the 12-watt option, an external jack will be to the right of the output jack. In order to achieve the 12-watt output, an external power source is necessary. When using an external power source through the 12-watt jack of the transmitter, the alkaline batteries of the transmitter are bypassed. All 12-watt units come with a 50-foot cigarette lighter adapter cable. This cable is plugged into the cigarette lighter of your vehicle and into the 12-watt jack on the transmitter. When this cable is connected to the transmitter, all three output levels are available on the transmitter: normal output, 3-watt output, and 12-watt output. When the transmitter is in 12-watt mode, the flag above the output icon on the display will flash. As an alternative to the cigarette lighter adapter cable, 3M offers a rechargeable battery as the external power source. The rechargeable battery is plugged into the 12-watt jack. This rechargeable battery will bypass the alkaline batteries that are installed in the transmitter, thus allowing you to save them for emergency backup. All three levels of output are available while using the rechargeable battery. Now we will cover an overview of the receiver and its functions. Power up the receiver by pressing the on-off key located in the lower left corner of the keypad. The unit momentarily displays the model number of the receiver and the battery level. Pressing the menu OK key in the lower right-hand corner of the keypad sets the receiver to trace mode for locating cable or pipe and displays locate options. Displayed options include ID marker templates, writing mode options, and setup screens for configuration of the unit. Configuration settings include clock, language, depth units, marker and data frequencies, COM settings, and help files. The OK portion of this key functions as an acknowledgement or enter key when adding information or configuring the receiver. The volume of the receiver can be adjusted up or down by pressing the arrows located on the left side of the screen. The 2573 ID is equipped with a 2-level backlight that can be toggled between low, high, and off by pressing the key to the right of the screen. The yellow keys below the screen are the command keys. Their functions are defined in the display above each key. These commands will change depending on what screen is being displayed. For example, from the main locate screen, press the second command key labeled cable pipe to enter the cable pipe locating mode. You will notice that the command keys are now labeled frequency, mode, and alert. We will discuss each of these later in the video. We are now viewing the cable locate screen. In the middle of the screen is a numerical value called the signal level. This is a measurement of how much of the transmitted signal is actually being detected by the receiver. The signal level will be at its maximum when the receiver is directly over the target path. The bar graph is another tool for indication of target path. When tracing the conductor path, the bar graph should close when the receiver is over the target. The bar graph should open when the receiver is moved off path. When the bar graph is not operating in this manner, the gain needs to be adjusted. Adjust the gain up if the bar graph is open or not closing over the target path. Press the gain down key if the bar graph is remaining closed and unresponsive to the target conductor. The relative level of the gain setting is displayed as a percentage in the right-hand corner of the locate screen. The audio level of the receiver can be adjusted with the volume key. When pressed, it will toggle between off, low, medium, high, and expanded mode. These levels are indicated in the top right portion of the screen with the speaker icon. Also on the locate screen, above the bar graph, you will notice 2 directional arrows. These arrows indicate the direction of the target path. When the receiver is on either side of the target path, one of the directional arrows will appear, indicating to move the receiver toward the left or right. When both arrows are lit, the receiver is on the target path. Across the lower portion of the screen are the command key labels. The first key is labeled frequency. This is the button that you push to set the frequency that the receiver will detect. When the frequency button is pressed, the command keys are now labeled active, power, passive, and auxiliary. These are groups of frequencies the 2573 ID is capable of detecting. The active group includes up to 6 active frequencies that the transmitter will produce: 577 Hz, 1 kHz, 8 kHz, 33 kHz, 82 kHz, and 200 kHz are available. If you are using the transmitter to locate your underground utility, you would select the frequency that is being sent by your transmitter. Press the first command key repeatedly until the transmitted frequency is displayed. If you are looking for a frequency that is generated externally, for example, if you wanted to detect 60 Hz that is generated by electrical lines, press the second command key labeled power until 60H is displayed. This is the harmonic frequency of 60 Hz that is used to detect power lines without the use of a transmitter. Please refer to the operator's manual for examples of applications for all the frequencies available on the 2573 ID locator. When the correct frequency has been highlighted, press the OK key to return to the locate screen. Notice that the frequency you selected now appears above the first yellow command key. The second command key in the locate screen is the mode key. This key allows you to select the antenna configuration of the receiver. The mode key will scroll between directional peak, directional null, special peak, and induction peak. Most of your underground locating will be done using directional peak. Traceview Mode, or T-View, provides an intuitive mapping display showing the utility path utilizing dynamic directional arrows and a path indication line. The cable is displayed on the screen with a directional arrow pointing the direction of the cable. If the locator cannot draw the cable, then the screen will display a rotate receiver icon. If the locator is more than 45 degrees from the cable path, the receiver needs to be rotated. When the path of an underground utility has been pinpointed, the depth to the conductor can be measured by placing the tip of the receiver on the ground and pressing the depth key. The depth of the target conductor is displayed on the left portion of this screen. On the right side of the depth screen, the relative current of the target conductor is displayed. This can be a very valuable tool when determining the target path in congested areas. Further information about relative current is included in the Advanced Techniques section of this video. There are two methods available to measure depth. One is the one-shot method, in which the receiver calculates the depth of the target for 3 seconds and then displays the value on the screen. By pressing the first command key, labeled one-shot, you can change the depth measurement to continuous, indicated by the command key now being labeled live. This measurement method will track any change in distance from the receiver to the target conductor by making continuous depth measurements. Press the OK button to return to the locate screen. By pressing the menu key on your receiver and the setup command key, you will be able to edit different configurations of your receiver. The setup function allows you to choose the units of measure for depth readings and the language of the receiver. You can select the types of EMS markers that you would like to find. You can also enable and disable locating frequencies from this setup menu. This is also the area in which you configure the RS-232 port to communicate with a computer or a handheld GPS unit. The RS-232 port is located on the bottom of the receiver head. In this same area is an 1/8" jack for headphones, and a 1/4" jack that is used for connecting the A-frame used for fault locating, or a dynacoupler for cable identification. Also for telephone application, a standard toning coil can be plugged into this jack and used for aerial fault locating.